to take your seats. Okay, we are about to begin. I need everyone to take your seats, please. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, that's much better. I'm going to ask all of our men from all the different countries, can you stand for me, please? All of the men. And I'm still hearing some persons talking. I need you to pay attention, please. Okay, if you look around you, you will see all the men from all of the countries. Ladies, I want you to give the men a round of applause. And right before we begin, I just want to say something to the men. And men, I want you to hear me. Only one man in 1,000 is a leader of men. The next 999, they do what? They follow women. So men, be aware. You can take your seat. Okay, this afternoon, it's my pleasure to moderate session 3. My name is Andrew Dane. I am presently a principal here in the Bahamas of a junior high school. And that school is T.A. Thompson. That's the home of the Scorpions. Okay? The proud Scorpions. Okay, this afternoon, I also have the pleasure of introducing our speaker, a wonderful man, a man that is very knowledgeable when it comes to technology. And he will be speaking on IT infrastructure for schools. Mr. Ramdass has been an educator for the past 27 years as a teacher, administrator, and head of IT at a tertiary institution in Trinidad. He has lectured both at the University of Trinidad and Tobago and the University of the West Indies. He is currently the director of RSC International and the founder of the non-profit organization Restore a Sense of I Can, whose motto is affecting change through education and technology. In 2014, his company was presented with the Best New Service Award in Trinidad and Tobago. In 2015, he was presented with the Community Service Award for impact in hotspot areas in Trinidad and Tobago. He has also received the Idea to Innovation Award of his academic peer-to-peer support model. And in 2016, Raj and his wife, Sugan, was jointly honored in Las Vegas with the Amway's International Heroes Award for impact in education. And right before he comes on, I am going to ask you, the audience, if you're familiar with the movie Star Trek. How many of you are? At this time, I'm going to ask you, as Dr. Ramdass come on, to say, beam me up, Dr. Ramdass. Let's go. Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Give him a round of applause.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Fantastic introduction. I could have stayed here listening to him all evening. The only thing I thought he would have said, you know, when he introduced me, he would have said, he's 1 in 1,000. But he did not say that. Just for clarification, I'm not Dr. Ramdass. I'm just plain old Raj, no doctor. If you are from Trinidad and you hear the name Dr. Raj, it implies something totally different. So Trini's the one talking about it. So first, I would ask your permission, and you will say yes. I will ask your permission to be totally informal. I'm going to speak normal Raj and normal Trin English, and my apologies for whoever is taking notes. Right? So I have your permission, yes. The second thing is, I hope you recognize that I am in a position of great power this evening. My power comes from the fact that after I speak, we go to Atlantis. And most principals, when they heard the conference was in Bahamas, the first thing they thought about was Atlantis. And here comes Raj to speak before the trip to Atlantis. And Raj is scheduled to speak for an hour and a half, and the bus leaves at 3. So, being a traditional Trini, I am now in a position of negotiation. So, here's the deal. I will cut my speech to 30 minutes. If I have a totally attentive audience, if every single joke I make you laugh as if you never heard before, and if absolutely no one suffer from ethnic-itis after lunch. So if you do that, I speak for half an hour. If not, everybody missed the bus. So, anyways, thank you very much, Caps. Thank you very much, Ms. McKay and everyone else for having me. I'm going to be very brief this evening. I know the topic is infrastructure, IT infrastructure in schools. I'm going to slightly stray a bit from it, but it's going to be around the general theme. The good news, you don't know what I had planned to say, so anything I say, you know it's within the topic. All right, so he told you about Restore Sense of I, he told you about us. Let me go straight into it. And what we're going to talk about this evening is I understand that every single person sitting in this room here is in a very strong position of leadership. But it also comes with great responsibility, because our children and the future of our country and the future of the Caribbean lies in the hands of the people sitting in this room. And we need to understand not just the power that represents, but the responsibility that comes with. So I'm hoping that we look at some clear next step. It's nice to sit and hear a guy talk about something in technology. It's the most beaten topic right now anywhere you go. Technology in education. Everybody talking about it. But the key thing is, what decisions can we make as individuals as we leave here today, as we leave here this weekend, as we leave here and go back to our respective countries? What is going to be the next step decision made so that we can empower ourselves to action and do some stuff? We have heard through the motto from Dr. Taylor come right back this week. We've been hearing about the gaps. We know the gaps that exist, and we are made aware of it, and we understand it. We are hearing about the trends. So you understand, I'm dovetailing from that. We understand the gaps that exist. Ask any educator, absolutely any educator, and they will tell you that the product that is coming out of the system and what is required, there's a significant gap because of globalization. We all know that. The key thing is, what can we do right now? And in addition to that, and why is this thing getting so dim? In addition to that, symptoms, we discussed a lot. Causes is what we need to talk about right now. If in your car, your fuel gauge is on E, as we say in Trinidad, busting the glass and raising it to F ain't going to solve the problem. We got to figure out what is causing that and deal with it. And one of the biggest problems I'm experiencing in the education system in the Caribbean has nothing to do with technology, really. but has to do with the silo. This one is good, that one is good. It has to do with the silo. And I'll explain as I progress this evening what I mean by silo. So you see, the first set of silo starts when we try to answer the question, who am I? And I'm not here to preach or talk philosophy, but as we gather here this evening, we're a man, woman, and everybody here is sure about which one you're starting. Wife or husband, father or mother, friend, employee, administrator. And the first set of silo we experience when it comes to technology is at times we tend to forget that it's all one. So it's not a matter of getting technology into me as an administrator. It is getting technology into me, who I am. Infusion of technology is more than just learning to use Word and Excel. Infusion of technology in the true sense of the word is understanding how to migrate my process, my thinking, into wanting to use tools so that I can do things better, faster, more efficient. Technology was designed for people like me who traditionally is very lazy. There's nothing wrong in being lazy if you're productive. Multitasking came about when I born, because I know how to waste time, procrastinate, and do nothing all at the same time. But the thing about it, that's not the real point. The real point is technology we need to embrace, because it's going to allow us to do what we are doing better, faster, more efficient, and allow us to do much more. So the whole idea of technology is making our life easier. So whether you're using your smartphone, and I'm sure most everybody have a smartphone. In Trinidad, if you don't have a smartphone, the phone that we have outside the smartphone is the CPAP, but again, nobody gonna know that, or it's called the Me Too. Me Too means, yeah, you have one of that, yeah, me too. Hey, you have one of that, yeah, me too, right? So the thing about it is knowing that if we embrace technology, it should encompass all parts of our lives, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Because you see, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And sometimes we get confused. I hear people say knowledge is power. I question that. Right application of knowledge, which is wisdom, is power. Knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing don't put the thing in fruit salad. There's this guy. When he born, he had no heirs at all. So, he had all the issues in life, but he went on to open a huge ICT company. But, he always had this thing about not having heirs. So, he decided to interview people, and based on their response, he'll hire them. So, his first question is, what do you notice about me that is different? Everybody say, well, you have no heirs. No, next, what do you notice? You have no heirs. Call this guy. What do you notice about me that's different? He says, sir, looking at you, I know your preference for anything with your eye will be contacts. So really? How you know that? You say you have no heirs to hang the glasses. so who got the job? Now the thing about it is, I've been visiting principals in quite a number of different countries, having meetings, a whole bunch of stuff. And I found principals who are passionate. And they lost my PowerPoint. I found principals who are passionate, and unfortunately, the techie guy is part of my team, so I can't complain. So I found principals who are passionate and excited about making a difference. And I've also found principals who basically, at this point in time, they're fed up. They're ready to retire. They decide to come Bahamas for a line. No, not in this trip, not in this room. So, right? So the thing about it is, these are two extremes, and what we'll also experience, we'll experience the same type of things in our staff. And some of these principles, when we talk about ICT infusion in education, and I want you to respond by noise level. If you are not affected by this, stay quiet. If you are very affected by it, let your boss know if they hear. Most people complain they don't have money. Anybody here don't have money to infuse ICT? Yes. And those who have money say, you know what, we don't have enough devices in school. Anybody have that problem? Yes. And if not, they say, look, if you have software, the government don't want to pay for the software. And if not, we don't have staff capacity. Who won't train in staff? If not, we don't have internet. Now, here what's going on. If you have these problems, all of we have it. I'm not talking about that. We're moving on to something else. Do anybody else have any other problems about technology infusion? Good. So let's accept this. That's so. Let's move on. We're going to talk to a group of people here that's going to say, you know what? Irrespective of the perceived problem, technology infusion is possible. And here's why it's possible. Sometimes I wonder if I'm not a principal. I never get a promotion. And the thing about it is, you know, think to cry about how that happened. The thing about it is, sitting in this room here, in my opinion, is the most powerful association that exists in the Caribbean. And I don't know if you're aware of that. Because here is a group of people that could affect totally the economy of the country now and coming in the future. We are talking about globalization, we talk about outsourcing, we talk about staff capacity, and the people to do that, the people to control those decisions are the principals. We're talking about people who affect family life. We're talking about people who could affect the crime, and most important, people who can influence the decisions. But I can tell you something, the silo. If every principal is a king or a queen in the fence that they are the king or queen of, and that's all they are, we're back to square one. But if we understand the power that exists as an association of principals, and if we could use technology to be able to capture that power and be able to use it, you are the most powerful group of people in the Caribbean. That's my humble opinion. Which is why the truth is we are here and we've been promoting unity through the Caribbean principles. So the thing about it is, how could we do that with respect to technology? The first thing I'm recommending is we must have a powerful, efficient, rugged communication system throughout the principles in the Caribbean. And I'm putting a challenge out to CAPS. This should be your mission. This should be your mission to utilize technology to set up a proper communication system so that, you know what, we don't meet for a conference and 2 years after we figure out what's the next step and what's happening from the last conference. I'm not saying that's what happened, I don't know, right? But I hear enough corridor talk. So the thing about it is, so what we are saying is, let's use technology. Let's use technology so we can communicate effectively and properly. Starting, somebody should I don't know if you all do resolutions and things here, but somebody should do that and get that started from now. We should have a proper peer support system. There are so many principals that I've dealt with, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know how the system is in the Caribbean, but they get into the position, and they're in the position, and they now have to learn everything else from, as we say back home, from scratch. Yet you have powerful minds, and each person is dipping into resources. And I'm impressed and amazed at what some stuff that principals do. And they come up with ideas and they do stuff. Then I go to Belize. I was invited to Belize and I found out, wait now, all have the same problems as Trinidad and St. Lucia and St. Vincent and other places that we've been doing our research with. The thing about it, support through communication could happen. And the most important one is let us learn to leverage resources. Let's stop being less dependent on governments and learn. And I'm saying, I'm going to show you just how technology could pull all these things together. If we could leverage resources, what's going to happen is we can infuse technology at a much lower cost, with much less staff requirements, with much less software requirements, with much less devices requirements. So I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, look, as an individual, I need so much $1 million, so much staff, so much money, so much whatever to execute. I'm saying as an association. As an association, if we team up, we can do it for much less. And that's what really I'm going to talk about in terms of infrastructure. Sorry? All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is productivity tools. Every single individual in here should make a decision and say, look, if I am not using productivity tools, I want to start now, once you have a phone. What is productivity tools? These are basic stuff that you can use to make yourself more productive whilst being more lazy. So we're talking about data storage. It's amazing how many people running around the place taking pictures. Click, 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 click. Don't talk about them fellas there. Click, 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 click all over the place, right? How many people go back home after trips, after events, taking picture of dog, cat, house, friend, neighbor, children? Well, children is, you know, everybody thinks about the children, right? Everybody believes that children good looking and the children bright. So parents are always taking pictures of the children. Somebody told my dad he was wrong about both. But the thing about it is, why not use a simple productivity tool? Whether it's Evernote or OneNote, make sure you have it on your phone. And whether you're sitting here taking notes, you take it on your phone. where you take a picture of somebody, you take it on your phone, somebody hand you a call card, you take a pic of it on your phone, it goes to the cloud, and it's home, on your device at home, it's here, and most important thing with that productivity like Evernote or OneNote is the fact that its search capability is amazing. So you can imagine 4 years down the road, what the fella name, who they talk again? Okay, Raj. What Raj say, blip, 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 and you can get it on your phone. You book a flight to go back home. For those of you all going back home, I understand some of you all plan to stay here in Bahamas, but for those of you all who plan to go back home, you have everything on your phone. Now here's the first thing I had to deal with some principles. Fear factor. Now, anything that is unknown is fearful. I said that once and my wife said, but I didn't know you before. So, but anything that is unknown, we are afraid of. And what really puts people like myself, now he introduced me as techie, but me no techie at all. Notice, I am very unproductive running about the place in the room, and these fellas doing everything. I'm just a guy who takes the praise and say thank you. But they do all the work. But the thing about it is, there are people surrounding us, perhaps within our staff, within our family, that are the techie ones. But what is required is acceptance. We don't need to be the bright ones being the techie ones, so nothing wrong if we don't know. Nothing wrong to say we don't know. We should not be avoiding basic knowledge to move forward. And in my opinion, and no disrespect meant, but a lot of principles, that was my greatest challenge. The fact that they see themselves not as digital citizens, not as digital visitors, but as digital observers. You know, there are some people make things happen. There are some people watch things happen. And there are some people wonder what happened. So the thing about it is we need to move away from what happened to start using, nothing wrong in start using your phone a little and then keep building capacity and keep building capacity. I can't remember the speaker, but one of the speakers spoke about earlier that the change has to start from us. But don't misinterpret the change starting from us being we need to do everything and or know everything. But if you're 0 and you move to 1, that's just amazing. 1 and you move to 2, that's 100% improvement. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. So I'm hoping everyone here make a decision that, you know what, if I'm not using it right now, I'm going to get some kind of productivity tool installed in my I am biased to Evernote, but I'm not promoting that. You choose what you want. But I'm very biased to Evernote. I feel you should use Evernote, but I'm not promoting that. You use what you want. But the thing about it is you need something that could allow you proper data storage. But the magic in storage is not storing, it's retrieving. The next thing you need is something with a good calendar, right? And something with a good to-do list, so that you are reminded what you have to do when you have to do. You know what happens? Principals are usually, no, not you all, but principals are usually not very, very, very young people. And what happened is, in about 3 years, what I plan to do is I will always call my wife sweets, sugars. You know why? After a certain age, you can't remember the name, so it's sweets, sugars, whatever it is. So, but I'm not talking about you all. I'm not talking about you all. The thing about it is, so a to-do list is a very, very important thing to have. And what is important when you're using productivity tools is have something that is integrated. So if you have a separate calendar and a separate to-do list and a separate storage something, that's pressure. Because you're spinning, as we say in Trinidad, you're spinning top in mud. Right? So get some advice what to use. I'm not recommending Evernote, but I use Evernote. But the thing about it is use something that is integrated. And more important, here's the more important thing. Could you imagine if all the principals in the Caribbean have some level, I'm not standardizing what you're using, but what I'm saying is ensure that integration is possible. But I know people who use iPhones and Apples, you know them? Mm-hmm. You know, those people are very, 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 you know what I mean about the Apple people. But the thing about it is, so I'm not saying use Apple or use Android or use whatever. What I'm saying is if we use stuff where we could share data with each other. But the first thing is, if you're not using productivity tools, start using productivity tools. And the next thing is analytical tools. How many of us make decisions, and we make decisions, and we make decisions, but we don't make data-driven decisions? I'm not saying data-driven decisions are the only decisions to be made, but it should be a core part of the process, because you'll be amazed of collective data, what could be done. And to have collective data, you must have a good information management system. I'm finding schools in our travels who still giving children report card on a paper. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but you know what I'm saying, right? You're making a decision, but you can't pull analytics over 2-year, 3 or 4 year period in terms of performance by subjects, by anything else that you need to have. And that is absolutely crucial as a principal, in my opinion, to have a good information management system. And I'm putting it out to CAPS. If every single school in the Caribbean moves forward to get your own information management system, you're talking about billions of dollars. But if as a team you decide to call the shots, it could cost you next to nothing. So what I'm saying is we should look at having a good standardized information management system as a team, if not even as a team, as by country or whatever it might be. And I'm not talking about something that just taking attendance. I'm talking about something that could give you analytics, proper analytics. And more important, if you have a good cloud-based system, if you're a principal in the Bahamas, why should you sit down in the office? You should have your smartphone and you should be on the beach and you should run your school. If you're a principal in New York and it's in winter, you go in the office. I didn't promote that, right? But what I'm saying is that that's being ambitiously lazy and still doing what you have to do. So that's the next quick point. The next point is, in terms of classroom, a lot of people, when we talk about infusion of technology, especially principals, the first place we want to start is in the classroom. Well, don't talk about governments. Every government wants to have a tablet program or a laptop program or whatever program that will bring votes. I'm not against it. It's excellent. But what I'm saying is it has to be a comprehensive program that makes sense. So if you're going to have in-classroom resources, the most ridiculous plan I ever heard is to give people laptops or student laptops and then tell the teachers they have to create the resources. If I was a teacher, I'll be upset with you if you told me that. But I'm not a teacher and you didn't tell me that, so I can't be upset, but I'm just saying if. But the thing about it is to have availability of resources. You know, it's another ridiculous thing I hear from a lot of schools and associations. Well, it have plenty stuff on the internet. Let the teachers research this stuff and implement infusion in classroom. That ain't gonna happen. Why is it not gonna happen? Because a lot of stuff on the internet exists, maybe too much. And trying to even be able to bring resources in together. But what I'm saying is, how many teachers do we have teaching math in the Caribbean? I don't know how much, but it's plenty. But could you imagine if as an organization like CAPS, you all decide, you know what, let's have some collaborative sharing of resources. So now everybody have to do everything. But we could have shared resources on a platform. And we could tap, I'm not saying use it, but what I'm saying is at least you have some level of quality control and vetting that is taking place of existing resources, or even create resources ourselves. So classroom resources is a huge thing. The average teacher should not be, Miss McCain, her opening speech, she talked about that. The day of the chalkboard class is gone. I have children who hate to go to school. When I say I have children, I talk about my own flesh and blood. They don't like school. You know why? Because school is a kind of jail thing for them. My children prefer to game and to do other exciting stuff. And as a parent, I had a challenge with that for a while, but then I think it's Sugan, my wife and Babaraji child performing, what you fighting him for? But if you performing, well, leave them alone, let him perform, and let them do what they want. I don't agree with that totally, but what I'm saying is, we need to be more engaging. We have done some stuff in Trinidad with some non-performing, some schools that had some challenges with discipline, and you know what we did? Through our technology club, we started to do something called gaming, like e-gaming. And we got schools, the name of this school, unfortunately the principal is not here, but we had schools who had massive improvements in behavioral patterns because we allowed children to game. But it's like a carrot on a stick approach sometimes, because in that particular school, the students who represented the school in gaming had to have a certain percentage of attendance, that have no disciplinary issues from game to game, and must show an increase in performance of 10%. From term to term. And there was some nice turnovers that take place. Sorry, I don't have enough time to go into much details, but this is a huge one. I just watched my time and I got frightened here because I realized I just have 10 minutes. Huge one. Continuous capacity building and professional development. This has to be high on the agenda. First at the level of principals, and then at the level of, I'm throwing it out to CAPS. CAPS should be taking the lead because technology exists. We have people who are outstanding leaders right here in this room who has the capacity to help other countries. We have Skype, we have internet, we have webinars, we have a whole bunch of things. I'm throwing it out again to CAPS. Use technology. to allow peer-to-peer support, capacity building, and a detailed 3-year plan if you want, and then send it to teachers and accept the comet. What's the comet? Once you start capacity building, there are those who will surge ahead at the front of the comet. Then the masses will come, and some will never do it. You just pray and wait for the day they retire, throw a nice party and say, thank God, who is the next one? But the thing about it is, that is a fact, don't fight it. But even if you could get 30 to 40% of your people moving on like that, I sit in education, so what's my next step? And I have to kind of really move forward. And if the answer, the question was, what is my next step? I'm again putting it out to you. As an association, we should be asking, what is our next step to move forward? A good database system, a good communication system, and it has started already. When you all came in, we asked everyone here to register on a computer system, and we captured basic data. That data is going to belong to CAPS. So CAPS is going to start having some information, but I'm challenging the leaders of each country now to get that data more granular. Do you know what a nightmare it was over the last month or two for Denise and Nicola to try and contact Somalia and countries and trying to figure out who is the head of that particular country and email going back and forth and all kind of thing. I was an observer and I felt sorry for two of them, honestly. In some cases it was really great, some cases it was a nightmare. But what I'm saying is, let's fix the stuff like that and then get the data very granular. Productivity tools, I spoke about that already. I'll wrap up, well I have 7 minutes left. I'll talk about quickly some of the services and suggestions and ideas to move forward. So we're an organization, a non-profit organization that's known as Restore a Sense of I Can, and it came out of RSC. And there are a number of things we do. One of the things I want to promote in this function is the formation of technology clubs. And not just the formation of technology clubs, but the formation of clubs that collaborating and working together. Can you click on my club for my moment? So what we did is, what really happened is we started to work in hotspot areas in Trinidad. Quick, fast story. And when we say hotspot areas, it's like high crime areas. And this particular social worker we were working with, she got 26 gang members. So these are the bad boys kind of thing. And they were getting into a program called MyLab, but they had to pass a math exam. So they called us in to work with them. And we realized that, look, these fellas really couldn't learn basic maths, but they just had to pass the exam. So we used technology to teach them. The police service gave us a center to work with, but there was no single computer. We had to get computers, and that led to the formation of our tech club model. What we do in the tech club model, the first thing we did is we started to beg for used equipment. So we started to collect used equipment. That led to partnerships. We are now partnered with the Coalition Service Industry of Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Belize, and we are, within about 2 weeks, we'll have a partnership with the Caribbean Coalition of Service Industries. What does that mean to us? What that means to us is these companies are donating computers to you. So they are signing a memorandum of understanding with us. So all their used equipment, so we're talking about equipment like about 3 years old, they are going to donate to the clubs. We will build capacity in students in refurbishing this equipment and also supporting the equipment so you can build infrastructure at no cost. In 2016, we would have donated over 400 computers just in Trinidad and Tobago alone. We also did some in St. Lucia. Now, what is more important, we started to be observed by universities in the States and an organization in England that said, you know what, we collect computer units, would you all take it? So once we have enough clubs running, you'll also be receiving gifts of used computers. And I'm not talking about crap e-waste junk. I'm talking about stuff that you can use within your system for building infrastructure. So that's one of the advantages of building the clubs. In addition to that, of course, well, I don't have time to run the videos, I bypass that. Capacity building should start not when you finish school and then you go into finishing school. Capacity building in technology should start from Form 1. And through our clubs, we are doing programs like animation, 3D animation, game development, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Digital content, I will close with that one because one of the things I want to give, and hopefully you'll download it or have it, we'll talk about that shortly. We ran a pilot television series in Trinidad for about 10 episodes, and this was teaching students through peer-to-peer in the club, and it was a huge success. We had 2,000 downloads came about because of that particular show. And what is happening now is we are currently going to develop a 50-part series in partnership with St. Vincent and St. Lucia. And we already have permission from television stations there to run a program where students are teaching students. It's going to start off with math and science. I'm throwing it out to CAPS. Why can't we do that generally across the Caribbean? Peer-to-peer trading and support, the technology is there for that. We ran a project earlier this year, again it was with St. Lucia, where we had students from Trinidad and Tobago, and actually this guy was lead of that. Where's Rai? Somewhere about the guy who ran out. Here's Rai here, the guy with the shining on him. Rai is a scholarship winner from Trinidad and Tobago who is currently on his gap year. He's a pre-medical student, and he's offering his services at no cost to people all over the place. So he's actually offering his support and service. And think about Rai. And what Rai and a whole bunch of friends did, and some of these members, they started a program with St. Lucia where every single evening from 3 o'clock to 5:30, students from St. Lucia were sitting in St. Lucia getting trained in what you all did? Math, science, right, maths, chemistry, biology, and physics is what it started with. And the only reason is because they know nothing else. Those are science students came out of it. And that led to a program where currently we have over 80 volunteers in Trinidad and Tobago that's going to be doing that, continue that from September. What I'm saying is expand that through CAPS and have students helping students with SBA, with training, with teaching, with everything else that's required. And you'll be surprised at the level of success they got with that. And you know why? Because they're related to each other. And it was a controlled program, so we didn't allow socializing on the program. Because Rise, a young fellow, his hormones acting up, some girl in St. Lucia, he wanted to talk and all that. We didn't allow that in the program, right? So the thing about it, maybe he was a little disappointed, so that's why he's in Bahamas now. But the thing about it is, I'm saying that is another thing CAP should take lead. So if you form a technology club in your school, number one, you're going to get help with infrastructure. Number two, you're going to get a whole bunch of capacity building done with your students. And everything I'm saying is at zero cost. Because it's a support, peer-to-peer support system. With the partnership now that is happening with the Coalition of Service Industries, they are bringing support to the table, and eventually, hopefully, they'll bring funding to the table also. Right? What's next? Gaming. As adults, please, don't take years like I did. Gaming is an important part of students' lives. And if you could have educational gaming, I'm one of the organizations that's promoting, we should have a Caribbean FIFA tournament with gaming. That's what we're doing in Trinidad. We have had embassies like the German embassy, the South African embassy, the US embassy, the Canadian embassy, and who again, Costa Rican. And they're saying they are willing to give us 2-week scholarships to send the winners to technology conferences. You can imagine if you have technology clubs and we allow some level of gaming in the technology clubs. Do you all know there's a game called League of Legends? Oh my God, I have 2 minutes. There's a game called League of Legends. And in League of Legends, the first place this year was what, 3 million US? $3 million US, 5 people walk out with. No, they can't win that. Maybe none of our kids could win that. But the thing about it is gaming is a sport. It's something professional and something you can make money with, right? Again, I'm not promoting gaming to the extent that it's going to be a deterrent to what has to be done, but let's embrace it for what it can do for the system. And then, of course, e-commerce, social media marketing. Quick thing on that. The lady who was, she was voted the most influential person in El Salvador, Guatemala, and somewhere else on the internet. Her name is Navar, something. She's very influential. Martina, so can I have man? Albertina Navas. Please excuse me, Albertina, if you're on this. Albertina Navas. And she runs a huge NGO in Guatemala. And she's committed to our clubs where that NGO is going to be supporting the clubs in the Caribbean on social media marketing. You can get free training for your students on social media marketing, social media ethics, and so on as part of the club. In addition to that, Costa Rica clubs that are being formed, they want to partner with the clubs in the Caribbean to do Spanish to English training. So your students who are learning Spanish could partner with live students in these places who's learning English. Social outreach, I'm gonna bypass all of that. In addition to the partnerships, there's a huge component to the clubs with respect to e-waste. And the United Nations, through the GEF program, has offered partnership on that also because it is assisting a whole bunch of different areas. I have to bypass a whole bunch of other things, right? So I'm passing all that up, bling, 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 bling. Good pictures, nice pictures, pictures of us doing stuff. All right? Okay, so these are the countries that are currently in discussion and or supporting and have. And again, I'm training out the CAPS. The whole club model should be something like a CAPS club model that is bringing you the tech support, right? I'll bypass all of that, bring me to the menu. I want to close off with one thing because my time is basically almost up, and I want to keep my promise to you because except 2 people who I caught sleeping and Rai took pictures of you all, so those 2 people will talk after the session, right? You know who you are, so don't give me no smiles now. Right? So, one of the projects we ran with some students is we develop past paper solutions. Bring up CSOL for me, please. We develop past paper solutions in mathematics. All the solutions from 2008 to 2016 release up to the last paper, but that's still being developed. So I'll show you up to 2016. Is available as animated videos being explained. And that is going to be distributed free to every student through CAPS. Right? I'll do a quick fast demo on that, but here what's going on. You see that table in the back there? Somewhere between now and Thursday night, because they leave Friday, you could go and actually get copies of the solution, so you could, arrange through whoever. So we're not seeing anything. We're hearing, but we're not seeing. So the thing about it is, through CAPS, you'll get a copy of past paper solutions. Now we have physics, chemistry, and biology being released in about 2 months. Now, this is not something that's it's just a tool. And what we recommended is get it free to all your students if you feel it's of value. Get it free to your teachers. It's just past paper solutions worked out. For example, the past paper solutions was done by Dr. Shirin Khan. If anybody here knows Dr. Shirin Khan, she was head table mathematics for like 12 years. And it was voiceover by Dr. Fayed Ali. St. Lucia is arranging to voiceover on, using their, I won't say language, but you understand what I mean, right? So are we up? Right, so this is software here. I apologize, I'm going over time. I have a big times up sign on my left. I'll do a demo here and go on. So the student could just select the year, select 2016. If you want, just select 2016. And there are 2 papers, January. And this quick demo, select, say, question 3. Any question 3. And then all the parts will come up. Click on any part. And once you click on the part, it is going to run as a video explanation, teaching the student how to answer the question.
The diagram below shows the number of students in
Right, I don't have time to run the demo. You'll see a demo at the back some other time. In addition to that, it comes with a flip book. You have a flip book up? No? Yeah, just run it, show me the flip book. So the flip book now is like for those students who don't need a video explanation, you can just flip. That's why we call it a flip book. Flip, 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 flip. And these are how the solutions would be expected to. Now I know a lot of schools don't really promote too much, give you past paper solutions. So leave it at the level of your administration. It's just a tool to help the students. This is targeting, now you can't read that. Oh yeah, you could read it now. This is targeting something. And what I'm suggesting, and I want to close with this. What if as an organization, I'm tired of people saying, we have an issue with maths, 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 right? Have you ever looked at the statistic and realized how many students who don't pass maths fit within the mark range 30 and 50? Most of them there. So what I'm saying is, why can't we make it our war cry? No, our war cry, but you understand. Make it a war cry and say, CAPS going to make a difference in that, because students between 30 and 50, you don't want them to come out there and become mathematics gurus. You just want them pass so they could move on in life. And if we could help those students every single child in the Caribbean between 40 and 50 and say, you know what, I know you need fundamental support and help. I know you need basics training. But I know I'm not going to give you that when you fail and come out school now. But what I could give you is pass the people thing and open up doors to move forward. Let's leave the fundamental basic training for the Form 4, the Form 2, the Form 2, and Form 1. And let's decide children who are writing exams in June of 2018, when 2017 now, June of 2018, nobody who's between the mark range 30 to 50 or 40 to 50 will not pass that paper. Everybody here gone through the system. Everybody know question 1 is consumer arithmetic. Everybody know question 3 is sets. I'm not saying beat the system. I'm saying help the child. And use that as a catalyst. It was done in Trinidad and Tobago in the years 2014 and the years 2015. 85 schools participated and the pass rate went from 42% to 62% in Trinidad and Tobago. Government changed and they said maybe it's not that. They didn't use it. They dropped back to 51%. And they said the government called us back in to implement the program for 2018. I was interested. It was all done for free. And that's what I'm offering. I'm saying these are some of the things that CAPS can do. I wish I had more time to talk about all the stuff I want to talk about. I want to keep my promise to you. In addition to keeping my promise to you, I really want to go to Atlantis too bad. So the thing about it is, so the thing about it is, you can get some more details from us in the back. I thank you very, very much for having us here. I thank you, Nicola, for having us here. So thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, Mr. Ramdass, I can truly say I am passionate about the subject mathematics as well. When I was in the classroom, that's what I normally taught. So I can truly say that a lot of times we do see the light at the end of the tunnel, but given our circumstances sometimes in some of the education systems, that light at the end of the tunnel has been turned off due to the budget cuts. You agree? Sometimes. Okay, at this time I'm going to ask Ms. Alicia Jean-Jacques. She's going to come and thank Mr. Ramdass.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, Mr. Raj Ramdass. Isn't he a breath of fresh air? Yes. A pre-Atlantis street. Mr. Ramdass, we are so grateful for that presentation. No one was sleeping. You found no one sleeping this afternoon. It was really informative. I know it was fast and you had to shorten things, but you know, it is giving me a little kick in the right direction, and I hope it does too for all my colleagues here. We thank you so very much, and we will be talking soon. And I have to
Okay. Seeing that our speaker is so excited to go to Atlantis, and I'm sure some of you are as well,